Hi Book Dragons, I am here to wrap up my August reading. August was a bit of a busy month. This is the second half of my August wrap up, by the way. My first half was when I was mostly in Ireland, but I did want to come up here and wrap it up because I'm about to start my September reads and I want to make sure that everything's good. I also had back to school this week and I don't know how much during the week filming I will have. That is always the case, but yeah, let's get into it. So full graphic number wise, I read 23 things. I read 7,251 pages. Average page count a day was 233. I definitely read more in the summer because I have a lot more free time. Average page count was 315. I did read a lot of shorter things, but then longer things, so that's actually pretty accurate. My most read genre was mystery. I did catch up on a lot of Ellie Alexandra in the first half of the month. Books at wrap, I read 6, 10 from authors I read before, and I hauled 30 books. Yeah, Ireland trip really killed me, but that's okay. I had 9 5-star reads. I had a really good reading month. 2 4.5 stars, 10 4 stars, 1 3.5 star for an average rating of 4.24. I think I DNF'd like 3 books this month as well. New releases, I had 16. I read 3 backlists, 4 from last year. 5 physical, 9 audio, and 9 ebook. I definitely have read the most ebooks I have this month between August and then also reading on my Kindle when I was traveling. And then I started 9 series. I continued in 6. I read 7 standalones. And yeah. And then I read 3 middle grade, 6 YA, and 14 adult. I read 7 ARCs, 4 from Audible, 3 from KU, 4 from the library, 2 from NetGalley, 3 owned, and 0 from Everand. So, that is where the stats are that we are at. And now let's go in and talk about the books that I read. I will talk about my DNF right off the bat. I actually did have 2 DNFs. I'm going to talk about those super quickly. One is The Village Library Demon Hunter Society by C.M. Wanger. This was a prompt book that I was trying to get finished. It was when I just got back from Ireland. I was trying to read some new to me authors. I DNF'd this. I really didn't like it. And I remember when I started this, there was another book by this author that I also didn't like. So I don't know if this book just was not for me, but it was a cozy that just didn't work for me. I also read The Fellowship of Games and Magic. I think it was The Fellowship of Library and Dragons that I got from ALA. I got the second book from NetGalley, and I didn't really like that one either. I ended up DNFing it, even though I love A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic, but I didn't really like this one, so I DNF'd that one. I'll attach a photo of that one here. And I'll be honest, that's when I was coming back from Ireland, and I was a bit like unsettled about what I wanted to read, so maybe that was why I was having so many issues. But yeah, so we're going to talk about the last 3 books I read on my trip, and then heading into the last couple weeks I was home. So I read By Invitation Only by Alexandra Brown Chang. This was a new book that I just got on NetGalley, so I'm going to attach a photo of it here. This is a contemporary story. It basically is like what happens if American royals met the Inheritance Game, basically, but very much like modern day. So you basically have a main character who is kind of like a very like sciencey, and she kind of gets chosen to be a debutante, but she is not, like, this is not her vibe, and she wounds up getting set to be a debutante. And they basically say that if she kind of goes through this whole process, she will get her admittance to the university of her choice, because the other people that were in before her kind of got kicked out because they didn't follow the rules, and she really wants to go to this big college of her choice, and she can't do it because her and her dad are not the most financially well off. So she winds up going to this Deb Society, and I had a fun time with this book. This was such a quick read. I was reading it when I was traveling, and it was just fun. It really had a lot of fun friendship moments. There was a lot of like high school drama, but I really did like it. I think that it was very high society. It reminded me of when I read Gossip Girl and A-List back in the day. But it did have an American loyal element to it. It had like an Inheritance Game element to it, and I really did like it. I gave it 5 stars, and I definitely want to see what this author writes more. Normally when you read a book like this, it's normally girls hating girls, and I don't like that. This one I really did like, so I gave that book 5 stars. And then my last official book I read on my last day of traveling was Potions and Prejudice by T. Harlow. I'll attach a photo of that here. And this is basically a cozy fantasy romantic-y Pride and Prejudice retelling, and I really had a fun time with it. It was super short. It was very, very cute. It was very, very witchy. You have, like, these three sisters that are kind of forced to, like, go to this small town, and there was a lot of vibes in this story. This is probably one of my... I read a lot of cozies that week, but I really did like this one. Definitely elevated spice. The next one's coming out in a couple of months, so I definitely want to get that. A lot of these books were books I started on my Kindle when I was traveling, and now I just have to find time to read them, like, during the year, because I don't really read on my Kindle, I keep saying, but I'm trying to get better. I gave this book 4 stars. It was very, very cute, and I'm really excited for more books by this author in the future. And the next book I read was Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This was my audiobook when I was coming home from Ireland, and then I finished it the first couple days I was home. This is the third book in the, I don't know the name of the series, but it's the third book in that series. And here's the photo of this one. I gave this book 4 stars. It's like a single guardianship romance. Basically, you have a girl. Her sister is the mother of this little boy, and she winds up dying. She has a, she's a drug addict. She winds up passing away. And she winds up getting named guardian of this little boy with this other guy that they don't really know. And he basically is in Canada. This is where the story takes place, but he, like, is not really here. Like, he can only stay for a certain time, but he gets named guardian of this little boy. The aunt is very, very upset because she wants to have guardianship, and they wind up getting married so that he could be in Canada longer. It was a very, very cute romance. I really like kids and romances, and there wasn't enough of the little boy in this one, but I really did like the romance. I thought that the job was interesting, and it was a fun read. I just didn't feel that connected to the characters that I normally do with Elsie Silver, so I only gave this book 4 stars, but I did have a fun time with it. And then my next book that I picked up was a long one, and that is A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Saskia Stark. I really did like this book. I gave this book 5 stars. This book had a little bit of pacing issues, but it was very, very fun, and basically in this society you have magic, and the gods take your magic when you're a baby. The gods didn't take her magic. If they ever find out that happens, then you are basically hunted down and you're killed. And that happened. They found out she still had magic, and she kind of has to go on the run. This book was a wild ride. I really had a fun time with it. It was a solid cast of characters for me. There was a lot of side characters that we met. I like the main characters. The ending I did not see coming. I just got book 2 in the mail from Pango, and I'm really excited to start that one soon. But this one got 5 stars for me. I had a really, really fun time with it. And then the next book I picked up was Kill the Beast by Sierra Swift. That does not come out until October. This is a NetGalley book, but this was another book that I absolutely adored. I gave this book 5 stars. So let's show you guys the photo. This is another cozy romantasy. I have been talking about Ellie from The Last of Us in so many of my videos because I really do like her character, but this character gives me Ellie vibes. So you basically have this main character that she basically kills beasts in the society, and she's known for that. She gets a letter from this lord that he needs her to come kill this beast, and she kind of goes there. She's very like reverse Grump Sunshine. Their dynamic is just very, very funny, and they have to go on a quest to get the elements to make a weapon to kill this beast. Things go from there. There were some twists in this story that I did not see coming. I love the main character so much. There's a dog in this story as well, and I just had such a fun time with it. I gave it 5 stars. Perfect early romantasy for fall. Comes out in October. You should definitely check it out if you're a romantasy fan like me. It does have quest vibe. It does have a more romantasy element to it, and there are some twists and turns that I didn't see coming. So I really do like this, and I was so happy that I finally picked up this author because she's a debut, but I think she's going to be a new favorite for me. And then I picked up The Love Haters by Catherine Center, which I also gave 5 stars to. I had some really good books this month. I finally got on some books that I really, really liked. So I picked up that one. I gave the book 5 stars. Here's a photo for you all. And this is just a fun read. Like, Catherine Center always has such fun books. I think her narrator always gets me because it always sounds like I'm really listening to a girlfriend telling me a story. But you basically have this character, and she's kind of a little bit down on her luck. She's like a photojournalist. She's like, does like video features, and her job is like basically in like trouble. She basically has to go onto this water-based thing to kind of see these people that do like diving, and she doesn't know how to swim, so she kind of goes there, and she kind of winds up getting caught up with this guy and his brother, and it's very, very fun. It's very, very cute. There's an animal, And her voice is just really very, very fun. I'm not doing a very good job explaining the story. Very, very low steam, which is how I like my stories. Very, very fun setting. There was an animal. There's definitely found family vibes. And I had a great time. I gave it 5 stars, and I really am excited to see what Catherine Center writes next. She's never let me down in her modern stories that she's written. And then the next book that I picked up, oh, where did it go? Oh no. Oh, this was one of my early arcs. I picked up I Killed the King by Rebecca Banks and Andrea Hanna. This is a fantasy thriller, and it's basically about these 6 characters that are in a room. The king of this land has died. That evening they're supposed to like write a treaty to kind of connect these 2 kingdoms so the war stops, and things go from there, and they have to kind of find out who killed the king. I had a really, really fun time with this one. Definitely was an action-focused story. The characters, I didn't feel that connected to them because there was a lot of them, but I did like it. But it was a great read. I really am excited for the sequel, and I like the world building and the characters as well, and the plot was very, very fast-paced. So if you're looking for something that keeps you going, like I think that this is very, very true. One of Us is Lying meets Knives Out with Beast, Murder, and Magic. And you have a lot of characters in it. The one thing I will just say is there is a lot of characters, so they're not all that distinct and different, but I really had a fun time with this book and gave this book 4 stars. And the last book that I just finished reading today is Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man. This is the second book in the Vera Wong series. Here's a photo of that. I had a super fun time with this one. I actually had to split this up, so I started reading it in Ireland and then I had to put it down, and that's why this book got 4.75 stars. I really did like it. Another mystery where Vera just expands her cozy family as she tries to solve another murder. It was very, very fun, very, very cute, and I just love the cozy vibes in the story. And now let's talk about the stuff that I did in this month. I did go to Ireland for a week, so that did hinder my entertainment just a little bit. But I wound up finishing Sweet Magnolias Season 4. I wound up finishing Ironheart Season 1. Daredevil Coming Home, I like that one as well. I watched all the gymnastic competitions because they had their nationals. I watched Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which I did like. That was an animated series. And then when I was in Ireland, I saw Celtic Steps. I saw a leprechaun museum where they had basically us telling us stories. And then when I came home, I watched Wednesday, which I liked. Apple Cider Vinegar, I really did like as well. Good Girl's Guide to Murder was okay. I liked the lead actress more than the show. And then I did a little bit of a Tom Holland deep dive. I watched Spider-Man No Way Home and The Impossible, because those are my 2 favorite Tom Holland movies. Let me know in the comments what was your favorite book that you read in the month of August, because I had definitely had some favorites. And I will talk to you guys soon.